why babies babble. This suggests that babbling shows a baby's growing sensitivity to the patterns and the rhythms of human speech. From birth to before 6 months age, babies have the ability to recognize almost any language in the world. It is during these first 6 to 9 months that babies acquire their native babbling language. A normal baby starts first with simple syllables together to sound like little sentences and questions. What happens though to children who cannot hear? How do deaf children learn to communicate? Based on our topic, we have invited some guests to tell us more on our pleasure. Firstly, I would like to introduce Professor Alex Clare, PhD, Professor of Speech Communication at Pennsylvania State University, and Chris, who is credited with the popularization of baby sign language.
Alright, let's talk about the parents of how deaf babies of deaf parents learn their languages.
Deaf children of deaf parents have an accessible language available to them from an early age. Consequently, they develop language about the same rate as their hearing counterparts. Consequently, deaf babies of deaf parents babble with their hands in the same rhythmic, repetitive fashion as hearing babies who babble with their voices.
How deaf babies learn their languages from the interaction with their deaf parent compared to hearing babies.
Deaf parents often sign in front of their deaf infants and may often enlarge their children's sign just as hearing parents elongate spoken words in baby talk. The deaf babies who presumably watch their parents use sign language and don't start their manual babbles before they are 10 months old. The same age hearing infants begin stringing together sounds into word-like units.
Apart from that, what's the difference of gesture between deaf children and hearing children?
The gestures of the deaf children do not have real meaning, but they are far more systematic and deliberate than the random fingers, flutters, and fist clenches of hearing babies. The motion seems to be the deaf baby's fledgling attempts to master language, said Dr. Laura Ontario, a psychologist at McGill University in Montreal.
Now let Chris tell us the description and linguistic structure of ASL.
Well, ASL is an autonomous linguistic system independent of English. It is a visual spatial of gestural language that is very explicit and dependent on visual cues of the hands, body, and face. ASL is symbolic and systematic. It has its own morphology and syntax. ASL was originated in the United States in the late 18th century. It was transformed into a true language that has been taught to many deaf people. Like all other languages, ASL is arbitrary symbols and each word. Word order of ASL varies according to emphasis, giving the user many explicit possibilities.
Next, let us discover on how hearing parents know that their children are deaf and how their children learn their language.
Deaf children of hearing parents typically begin language acquisition later as a result of parents not knowing that their child is deaf, often until the child is 2 to 4 years old. Therefore, a manual form of language is not used in front of the infants, nor is the child receiving another type of effective communication training because the infants cannot hear information presented orally.
After being diagnosed, what are the first moves of the parent?
Some of these children may eventually first learn a manual coding of English in the home along with speech. Some of the hearing parents begin to learn ASL to teach their children.
So what are the findings after the babies being taught ASL in a certain period?
The deaf babies seem to make hand movements over and over again. Their hands motions started to resemble some of the basic hand shapes used in ASL. Next, they form some simple hand signs and use this movement together to resemble ASL sentences.
Linguistics believe that humans are born with capacity for language. A baby's brain is capable of learning any foreign language in the world. This is possible because the brain of infant is malleable the most of the environment. A hearing baby whose parents are deaf and those babies of deaf parents will be doing sign language. They will communicate with their fingers, hands, and facial expressions. For those hearing babies who have one deaf parent will babble equally with their hands and voices. The capacity for language is uniquely human. As a result, the sign system of deaf is physical equivalent of speech. In a nutshell, the old theory that only the spoken word is language will have to be changed. At the end of this meeting, we would like to thank our guests for sharing their opinions. Thank you for spending your precious time with us.